In education, the federal government of Nigeria has approved the exemption of federal universities, polytechnics, colleges of education, and other tertiary institutions of learning from the Integrated Payroll and Personnel Information System, IPPIS. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Mamman, disclosed that henceforth remunerations to staff members of these institutions will no longer flow through the platform. He said this while speaking to journalists at the end of this week's Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House in Abuja. The basic concern is that universities are governed by laws, and those laws give them autonomy in certain respects and most respects. And the IPPIS has sort of eroded that autonomy granted universities. Reacting to the development on Wednesday, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, which had for long clamored for exemption from IPPIS, commended the government for the decision. To discuss this, we're joined by Professor of Political Science, Lagos State University, Nigeria, Sylvester Akaine. Thank you very much, Prof, for speaking with us. Let's start with some clarity on the specific autonomy-related issues that the IPPIS has brought up for the universities and how it has impacted its functioning.
Well, I think essentially the IPPIS was an infringement on the autonomy of the universities in Nigeria. University autonomy has to do with, academic freedom, freedom of organization, freedom of administration, curriculum matters, and even financial matters. We do know that, of course, many of the universities in our country depend on conservation, either from the state government or the federal government. They also generate, of course, eternal revenue, from the system. From the admission systems and other services which the university offers. And so, but the taking them into the IPPIS was an infringement on that autonomy because of the specific, unique nature of the universities, where you have, for example, visiting professors, adjunct professors, contract, staff, and all of that. And if you look at when the university were brought into the IPPIS, it created, a lot of bureaucratic problems, rednecks. Some people were not paid, exactly what they were supposed to be paid, during that period. For somebody on the level OC, what we call a university salary structure of say 08 or 07, we find 100,000 naira in his account. So those discrepancies, featured all through. And as we speak today, it became the basis, of course, for the Academic Staff Union to embark on the strike. Of course, it was one of the major issues. Underfunding of the universities, has always been an issue in terms of the demand of the Academic Staff Union of Universities in Nigeria. And so I think that the new administration is getting to understand the substance of the issue and trying to restore, some stability to the university system.
All right,
we know what has happened to our university.
Yes, I was going to agree. You said to restore some sort of stability. Now that the IPPIS has been taken away, like the universities and colleges are no longer there, what alternative system measures will replace it that will be used for remuneration of staff at the universities and colleges?
I think it's a return to, status quo ante. That is what I think. We might want to also explore the possibility of now implementing what the Academic Staff Union of Universities also put in place as an alternative to IPPIS. But that, we need to study it in the context of this newfound lease, coming from the federal government. The University Transparency and Accountability Solution, which the Academic Staff Union, articulated, I think that is something that we can look at. Beyond that, the point must be made that all university systems, the administration, have accountability system that are inbuilt. You have audit, you have the bursary sections. Money are not just disbursed, without justifications. So there are procedures. But I think that if we also want to strengthen accountability and to curb, what may be called maladministration on the part of some vice chancellors within the university system, we might have to go back now to revisit UTAS and see how we can, apply it within the university system in Nigeria.
Aside from the finances that this involve, how will this removal by the federal government impact the larger educational landscape?
Well, I talked about stability before, and I think that of all the demands that we have made as academics in the country, one major issue has been underfunding of the educational sector in the country, and that has not been addressed. And I think that the federal government will need to address that. But of course, when you talk about autonomy also means that we should be able to generate resources through research, through a definitive town and gown relationship, in which case the industrial sector should be able to feed on research outputs within the university system. And I think that, of course, to a very to a very great extent, will also help, in terms of stabilizing the financial fortunes within the university system.
We certainly hope that will be the case. Thank you very much, Professor Akaine, for speaking with us.
Thank you.